Movie Time is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. Further details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.org.
The award-winning It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Linda Baas McClelland.
And this is
It's Movie Time.
Linda?
Yes, John.
The movie is called The Witch. I wonder what that's about.
Yeah.
Now, it's listed as a horror film. What elements of horror are in this movie?
Well, it has the potential of being quite scary. It's about witchcraft in the 1630s New England. And after watching it, I thought maybe I should get myself into a nunnery. And it's very appropriate that we do this show on Ash Wednesday because it is a movie about God versus Satan.
Right. That's when we'll be on a week afterwards. But
okay.
You're right.
Yes.
It actually predates the 1692 Salem witch trials.
Right.
So it's really preparatory. It's a few decades before. You're quite right.
Mm-hmm.
It's right in 1630, filmed in northern Ontario, Canada.
I wondered where it was filmed.
Yeah, boy. Is that gray or what?
Oh, boy.
The cinematography's beautifully
Yes, it
grim.
is. It's one of the strengths of the movie. But just a little bit of background. The story opens when the patriarch, William, his wife, and their 5 children are ordered to leave their Puritan commune.
Yeah.
He has expressed theological differences in front of a town council. It seems like the Puritans aren't pure enough for him, I guess.
It's unclear exactly what the issues are.
It is very unclear, but there is an argument, and he is banished, and they are sent from their little commune, and he takes his family out into the wilderness.
Oh boy,
to a bleak, small homestead
they're right
at the edge of a forest.
Yeah, a really Hawthorne-like world.
Yes, cue the eerie music.
I know, and you know, as we try to find out, and there's a mixture of this. It's not all consistent. There are some things here that are supernaturally provocative and incendiary, and there are some things that are unclear. There are some things that are very clear witch life.
Yes.
There are some things that are actually witch-like.
Well, we know for sure that they are sharing the forest with a witch.
Yeah, it seems so now. But Linda, I would say, and here's maybe a good thing about this, it's possible that some of the things that we see are the fantasies of the children, of the 2 youngest children.
That could be possible.
Who maybe or maybe not possessed.
Right. But one of the very first things that happens is their infant son just vanishes. And he's being taken care of by Thomason. That's the oldest daughter.
Right. She was playing with him, and all of a sudden she turns around
he
and he's gone.
He just disappears.
Yeah. He's a baby, and I would say in the film, for those of you thinking about going as a family, there are some...
Heavens, no.
Okay. There are some...
No, John.
There are some images here that are pretty disturbing.
Yeah, very
The violation
disturbing.
of the baby
yes.
is, and they're quick cuts, so you don't get to see exactly, but you can guess what the witch and whoever else is there.
There's some blood and gore going on.
Right.
But Thomason knows right away that she is being followed, or maybe she imagines that she's being followed by this dark force.
But don't forget too, or not forget. You're not forgetting, and the allegorical level of this. Thomason is a teenage girl, just on the brink of, and she evidences some slightly naughty parts to her,
right?
And that lead her brother, who is definitely on the verge.
Yes, he's an adolescent.
Right, he is an adolescent boy, getting some pretty sexy feelings, and she kind of, I don't know, she likes it, but there's a complicity here.
She's aware of it.
She's aware of it, for sure. And notice that I'm talking about the very thing that, of course, the nuns taught me so carefully about, our reactions to sex.
Right.
And there's quite a bit of that
Definitely.
when you're talking about the kids. And
right.
I like it because you don't have to believe in witches to believe that all of this turmoil that's going on within this very insular family.
Do you think Thomason thinks that she is the cause of all the bad things that happen to her family?
Well, here's my interpretation, I guess, of her, is that she doesn't believe she is, and I don't believe
Okay.
she is. I believe on some level she is just a teenage girl emerging, and whatever happens is not always maybe to the liking of adults, but she's a good kid, and she watches the babies and all that stuff.
Right,
Now, what happens later on, which we won't disclose,
right,
gets closer to what your question
right.
is.
For me, the positive features of the film were the sets.
Oh,
Um,
don't you think meticulous
oh, right.
in the way the thatched roofs, the oak paneling,
Oh, it's definitely
all this on the houses,
right.
all this stuff.
And the
seen.
cinematography picks all
Right.
this up so beautifully.
And then you throw in some of the tropes like the back of the. Then you throw in some of the tropes like the black goat.
oh yeah, that old black goat.
And this
Yeah.
is a clear
Is he
sign
a
of
symbol?
the
Is he a symbol or
right,
what?
of the devil.
Right,
So
definitely.
our director Robert Eggers, who wait a minute is also writer, and wait a minute is a first timer.
Right, this is his first movie.
This guy has a future,
Right.
because this is one harrowing,
Right.
and as you were mentioning in the cinematography and in the set design.
And the sound design is wonderful too.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And it does all those things do a very good job of giving you an atmosphere of foreboding and menace.
Yeah.
And before we saw this movie, you always called me a big baby.
No,
And
you're just
and
a
you were
delicate
warning-
sensibility.
You were warning me that this was going to be something awful. I was ready to be scared senseless.
Okay.
I wasn't scared.
Ah.
I was bored.
Oh no.
Yes, John.
Tell me why.
First of all, the film's dialogue, it was taken from folk stories and documents of that time.
Yeah.
So most of the time, what was being said was incoherent, and the actors were saying all these strange words in very hushed, quiet tones.
Well, I think they were imitating a kind of stylized.
Definitely.
Stylized language
Right.
that we might have expected from people who came over from England and had that Puritan cast over them.
Right.
But yeah, so you're saying it really slowed for you.
Well, the viewer can hardly understand what's being said. And first I thought it was me, but I talked to a couple other people, and no. The second thing was the actress that played Thomason. Her name's Anya Taylor-Joy,
Yes.
and she is lovely to look at. And like you said, she conveys the appropriate sensuality
Right.
of a young girl. But for me, at other times, she looks like she's performing in a high school play.
Oh, okay.
I know she's being stalked by the evil witch, but her performance doesn't give me anything to care about what happens to her.
Okay.
I'm just kind of floating along.
You know, that's fair. It's not the way I see it. I think she's pretty effective. In the way that we were talking about, my vision is that she's somewhat clueless as to the power of the forces that are stalking her, as you say.
Right.
She's she like the town elders who see the dad as being full of pride. She might have, but doesn't. She might have intuited that dad was going to be a problem for them. You know, even when he took this family out.
Right.
Dad is, and mom growingly
Oh dear.
sees
She's a tragic
dad
figure.
as a problem.
Yeah, I like the way the father is constantly chopping wood
Yes.
because it's sort of a hint of what might happen to him eventually.
You know, I'd just like to mention that for our listeners, if you want a further idea of what it's like, two of the influences on our writer were The Crucible and The Shining.
Right.
And then everybody will see some of The Exorcist in this.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Tiny
a little bit, right. There won't be any green gravy coming out, but there's no. But and for me, the one that came out a few years ago called The White Ribbon, and this was again about another town in which the kids, it was uncertain what was happening to the kids. But anyway, just another one. I think it's in a good line and a good tradition. And Lenny, it's time for us.
You know, I have to say that
she has more to say, gang.
the movie moves along at a snail's pace, and out of my boredom, I was making up in my own mind what was going to happen next, and I always hit the nail on the head.
I know, but you're good at that.
Even up to the ending that was supposed to be so shocking, I knew exactly what was
All
going
right,
to happen.
here we go. We're going to
Okay.
agree on this part. The
We'll see.
ending is a bit hokey.
Yes.
I mean, I think where they have been ambiguous up to that point,
Yeah.
where Eggers, the director and writer,
Right.
he's so explicit in this ending. I want to go and say, come on, leave us
You
to
could have
guess.
done a little bit
Yeah,
better
right.
than that.
All right, Linny. Oh boy,
Oh boy.
we're in for it, folks. Linda is going to give her grade for The Witch.
The Witch. I hope I won't be cursed because I'm going to give it a C minus.
I knew you would be in the C range, and I'm giving it a B plus. And maybe we're being influenced by forces. Maybe it's my Catholic background.
Do you think so? I think we should go out and say our rosary.